what were the easiest and the hardest brawlers to push in your opinion when you were going on this absolute tear? What are your thoughts on Siege, and is it maybe broken perhaps? What did you start on in terms of trophies? What did you end on, and how many hours did you spend playing Brawl Stars to get and achieve what you have done? What is up, guys? My name is Ark, and today is a beautiful day to brawl. We have got a very special guest on the show today on the channel. OG is in the house. How you doing, bro?
Hey, man. I'm a little tired, but really happy to be back on the channel again.
Yeah, man, I'm not surprised you're tired, bro. Like, oh my goodness me. Probably one of the most epic trophy pushes in the history of Brawl Stars. And you have been absolutely grinding away for the past 2 weeks. Tell us about the push. Like, what did you start on in terms of trophies? What did you end on? And how many hours did you spend playing Brawl Stars to get and achieve what you have done?
Yeah, so I started at 14.3K. And then I finished a little over 22,000. I think it was like 22,050 or like something like that. So it's like 8,000 cups around there.
22,000 trophies. I think you're going to stay there for a long time in terms of the record. That is literally ridiculous. I mean, prior to this season, we hadn't even seen anyone breaking 20k. So, I mean, it was a great epic battle between you and Onesick, right? I was watching it go down, and yeah, tell us a little bit about that. You guys were neck and neck for a while, right? Yeah,
I mean, he definitely had like the advantage on me for, I'd say, like 75% of the season. He had a pretty good season before. He got like a 800 cup head start on me, but I don't know if that like hurt him in the long run or helped him, just because I feel like he did get like more burnt out than I did, just because he went pretty hard the season before. I think he finished like number like 3 or 4 in the world. It was pretty like much all Onesick until like the last 5 days, and then I'm like, you know, I can do this. I've been saving like a lot of like my lower brawlers for the final few days so I don't get burnt out. Just gotta have a few good siege days and I can get this, and luckily it all ended up working out pretty well.
It was fascinating to watch go down, and I mean, true credit to yourself for sticking it all the way to the end. Guys, we're going to go through OG's top 5 trophy pushing tips today, but first I want to get a little bit of an idea as to like what were the easiest and the hardest brawlers to push in your opinion when you were going on this absolute tear?
So the easiest ones were definitely the ones that I enjoyed playing. I'm not one of those guys that likes playing every single brawler. There's a few that I like really can't stand.
Give us an example.
Okay, so the ones that I really did not enjoy pushing were Shelly, Emo, Bull, and then Mortis. Mortis is not my strong suit.
Now, you're much more of like a medium to long range kind of guy, right? You like the Brocks, the Pipers, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Was there like any particular brawler which you found like, what was the hardest brawler? Was it Shelly in your opinion?
Shelly probably.
Yeah. Is she like the weakest in the meta right now for you?
I mean, it's really dependent on the comp that you play against, because she is like a really hard counter for like a few brawlers.
Yeah.
But if you don't play against one of those brawlers, then it's like pretty tough.
What about game modes as well? Like, was there any particular game mode? I'm guessing that it would be one that I've got in my mind, but tell us about the game modes you pushed on and how you found that.
Yeah, so whenever Siege was out, I definitely tried to take as much advantage of it as I could, because when you're pushing this high, the main issue is matchmaking and queue times. Essentially with Siege, you can push twice as fast. That means half the queue times. You know, I had pretty good win rates, so I definitely stuck to Siege whenever it was out. On the off days where it wasn't out, I'd primarily play Brawl Ball unless there was a specific brawler that I had to push. Like, I did my Piper and Bounty.
Yeah.
I tried my Mortis and Brawl Ball.
I'm not a fan of Mortis either, to be honest. And you got like a couple of 1,000 brawlers, and actually your Leon was like 1,100, right? So when you're pushing those kind of levels of brawler, like what is going through your mind playing Siege? Like, you know, because that is a big risk. I mean, it's like, is it minus 16 or minus 14 for a loss?
It's minus 14 and plus 4.
Yeah.
So luckily I had a good team that was also pushing brawlers to 1k. Originally I just wanted to like 1k my Leon, and then my buddy was just playing like Frank as a fill-in for me. We ended up getting his Frank to like 905, and he's like, you know what, I want like 1k Frank. With Patchy, I think I probably pushed 200 cups on my Leon with, so it worked out pretty well.
So what are your thoughts on Siege then? Because obviously Siege at the moment, as we're seeing, is like, you know, big risk to play because you can lose a lot of trophies, but you know, you can also gain a lot more in a relatively shorter amount of time because of the matchmaking and stuff. Like, what are your thoughts on Siege, and is it maybe broken perhaps? Or
I really love the concept of the game mode. I think it's like cool and unique, but ladder wise, it is just like really broken right now. Basically, it makes every other mode irrelevant to push in. So I kind of realized that from the start of the season. So I just go like extremely hard when Siege came out, and then the day off, like the next day, I take it like a little easier, like sleep in a bit, so I didn't like lose my mind. But yeah, Siege is just like the way to go right now. I think they got to like tweak the plus minus a little bit for it.
Yeah, because I think it's really important to hear from you because like obviously you spent a long time playing that game mode, and I just have watched it kind of transpire, and I was worried that is there enough incentive to want to play other game modes besides the maps and the brawlers and as such that you're pushing, you know, that was the thing.
Yeah, they definitely need to balance it.
Let's go into your top 5 trophy pushing tips in Brawl Stars. So what is your number 5 best tip to give to the viewers out there?
Okay, so for number 5, I have know your strengths. What I mean by this is play brawlers that you're comfortable with in game modes and maps that you're comfortable with. So you definitely want to play to your strong suit and what you enjoy playing. So just try to find what you're really good at and just stick to that.
Obviously, certain brawlers are not going to work everywhere, so it's really important that you kind of choose the right brawler for the right game mode for the right map, right?
So for my number 4 tip, I have play in VC. Now, I probably played 80% of my games this season in a voice call with people that I'm comfortable with playing. We had a much higher win rate when we were in call together, and like I said, there's crazy queue time, so it helped pass the time. I'd like strongly recommend it to anyone.
Yeah, and that's the thing that Brawl Stars doesn't have VC, and I hear a lot on Reddit and various other places that like, you know, players are often asking for the dev team to implement some kind of voice chat communication system in the game. Like, what are your thoughts on that, and whether that would like benefit the game? Could it potentially harm the game in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't affect me too much just because I'm pretty established on Discord. Like, everyone has me as a friend. Everyone knows like what servers I'm in, etc. But I think it could definitely help out, especially if you're like queuing up with randoms or something. Could definitely like help you like meet new people and, you know, just grow as a team if you do like playing with them.
I've got mixed opinions because I kind of worry would it open the game up to more kind of like harassment or potential like bullying and stuff, so I do worry on that respect. But I kind of like that they don't have it for us because like we're then on Discord and we've got, as you say, our little channels and stuff that we can kind of communicate with, and it gives us a bit of an upper hand. So yeah, voice chat is definitely a big one, guys. Definitely recommend going on Discord or Skype or getting involved in the Brawl Stars community for that, and that's a really solid tip. What about your number 3 tip?
So for number 3, I have learned the map rotation. This is like really important in any big push because obviously brawlers have their own like modes and their own maps which they specialize in. So you don't want to like have to push a brawler on a map that doesn't excel on typically, especially if it's like the number 1 brawler on another map. So just be aware, there's like a few apps you can get. It's on Discord and a lot of servers, just what maps come out when.
Yeah, I think I use Brawl Stats actually on my browser, and that's really helpful to know what's coming up the following day, so you can kind of plan. As like, I guess when you were doing that push, you really wanted to kind of like assign your time and know what you were doing in advance, right? So
I felt like I planned it out really well, so the map rotation was definitely a huge factor for me.
Besides from Siege, was there any maps that you were specifically looking out for, like when it came to pushing certain brawlers? You mentioned obviously Piper and Bounty. What about sort of like Gem Grab and Brawl Ball? Was there particular brawlers that you had in mind for those?
Yeah, for Brawl Ball, I wanted to do my Daryl in it, so I waited for Backyard to push most of it because I really like him there. And then, like you said, Piper was huge in Bounty. I also did a bit of her on Bridge Too Far. Besides that, like I mainly stuck to Siege for 800 to 900 pushing.
What about Jean and Carl being like the most recent brawlers? Like, where did you push those two? Because Carl, as we know, is probably a little bit underwhelming at the moment, and just kind of curious where you kind of placed him.
For Jean, I did do him in Siege from 800 to 900. Then I just left him at 900. From 600 to 800, though, I did him in Gem Grab and Brawl Ball. And then on to Carl. I left Carl pretty much for my last day. I got him to 500 subs. Yeah. Just because I knew I was going to be like really tired the last day, and I didn't have to worry about pushing +2s. So I left him for the last day. I did Showdown, like a bit of Showdown. It's not too great in it. And then I did Brawl Ball and Gem Grab.
Okay, bro, what's your number 2 tip?
For number 2, I have play with people you know and are comfortable with. This ties in a little with BC, but you definitely want to like play with people that you know how they play, you know what brawlers they're good at, and that you have good chemistry with, because it is a team game. So luckily for this season, I had a lot of good buddies supporting me. Half of them I played competitively with, so we know each other like very well. But I definitely couldn't have done that if I was just like playing with random people in my club all day.
I mean, like, yeah, I've got to say, I have changed my mindset towards randoms recently, but only really on my minis pushing to like 10Ks. It's something that I realized is actually very viable and a good way of pushing trophies, but at this level, stick to people you know, right? Any shout outs you want to give to people that you actually play with to get as high as you did?
Yeah, definitely. So the main people that I pushed with was I'm Over 9000, Keith, Bobby, Patchy Pirate, Second Best, and there might be like 1 or 2 others that I'm forgetting, but they're all like really solid players, so shout out to all of them for helping me out.
What's your number 1 best trophy pushing tip for the viewers?
Okay, so for number 1, I feel like this one's like incredibly underrated. I have take breaks. So whenever I'd lose 2 games in a row on 900, I just leave my room, like take my dog out for a walk, and like get back at it in like 20 minutes. I think it's really important you don't get carried away just like in a tilting groove. You know, that can just like really mess a day up when you're pushing. So I was always taking breaks.
Yeah, because like when you're not as high as you were, like a loss is like no big deal. You carry on, you pick yourself up, and you kind of like try to climb back. But at your level, when you take that loss, it's a lot of trophies lost. It's a lot of time lost, and that can really be a big thing, especially when it plays on your kind of mentality towards like the games as well. I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even the last day, I was having a tough time, and I think I was just like really overtired. So I took like a 2-hour break, and everyone's like, oh my god, like once it passed you, like what are you doing? And I'm like, it's fine, like I'm in like the right mindset now, you know, I'll just like go back out there. And I like just didn't lose after that point pretty much.
Yeah, it's like you got to think of it that way, haven't you? Like taking that 20 minutes to kind of collect yourself and to get yourself away from the game can massively improve your odds of winning those games and not going sort of backwards in that respect. So that's a really, really solid tip. Yeah, don't get caught up in the loss streak and undo all the progress that you've made, because it is really hard when you're getting like +2 trophies for a win to really get over that hump, I think. Oh gee, man, there were some solid tips. Thank you so much for coming on the channel again, man. Every time you come on, it's an absolute blast, and like it's so nice to get your insights over across to as many people as possible to help them to push trophies. We've got a fantastic Twitch channel. Give us some shout outs for your social media as well, bro. Where can everyone find you? I'll leave links down in the description.
Okay, sweet. You can find me on YouTube with OG Brawl Stars, on Twitch, OGaming95, Twitter, OGaming95, and Facebook, OG Brawl Stars.
Nice, bro. Again, I will leave all the links down in the description, guys, so make sure that you subscribe up to OG for some awesome gameplays. And again, like, you know, what are your plans next? I mean, I say this every time, and I don't know, today just feels like a little bit like a weird time to ask, but like, have you got any goals to come next? I mean, I think you've pretty much done everything. Is the game not getting at all stale, or how do you keep yourself kind of motivated to keep trying new things in Brawl Stars?
Yeah, my only motivation at this point is to win a major tournament. So I'm going to be scrimmaging every day, and then I want to get my YouTube and my stream as popular as possible.
Sounds like solid goals, bro. Solid goals. Well, bro, hopefully this will help out and get some subscribers over to you. Again, guys, please head on over to OG's links down in the description. Show him some love, show him some support, say that Ark sent you. Bro, we'd love to have you back again sometime soon, man. Get some much needed rest, please.
Will do.
Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. That is going to wrap up today's. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, head on down to the like button, grab it, smash it, and while you're at it, subscribe for more future content. Until next time, keep calm, brawl on.